They are. They're
Guess who passed? Diana Hood.
And then after that.
Yeah, she was the ED for you, no one told me anything.
And then.
It just happened this week, like might have even been yesterday or today.
I'm sure it'll come around to me later today. I wasn't even in the office. I was in Salinas and I was here there. I was at work today.
I recently just heard.
It was on social media.
Yeah, so Diana's
And then they
used to
also.
serve in the PBIC capacity prior to hospitals yesterday, so I don't know if we want to add that in or do something.
Add it to the agenda or do it in introduction, guest or.
During announcements at the end.
So. That's something that would be good.
We'll see, we're just kind of like, we're looking at the options, yeah, so.
I mean,
The most common would be when I was
Yeah, I would always, if she serves in the same lines, club as me too. It's like every time I would be at a meeting, she wouldn't be there. And every
Mhm.
time I was there, she was there, so. Yeah, 5 years, never crossed paths.
That
4
works
years.
for that,
4 years.
access to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's addressing the thing.
In her sixties, she got breast cancer. I'm going to clear for the breast cancer and the cancer. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, not very recent one, right?
She just joined, Diana.
So we got 6, so that's good enough for me. Good afternoon, everyone. We will call this meeting to order at 1:03 PM. If we could start with roll call, Ruben,
Yes, member Macias,
isn't?
member Ramirez, member Merritt. Member Magana,
Present.
member Gross. Member McKillop,
Present.
member Hernandez. Member Jimenez, member Garcia,
Present.
member Kuda Fuller,
Present.
and member Jimenez,
Present.
and we have a quorum.
Okay. All right, and before we move on to item 1.2, I would just like to announce that if there are any guests or any board or any members who wish to speak, just please use the raise hand feature on Zoom and we'll acknowledge you. So with that said, item 1.2, introduction of guest. Are there any guests who would like to introduce themselves?
Well, I'll be speaking, but I don't know if I should introduce myself now.
Yeah, we can get to that. We can get to you when you speak. All right. Item 2, public comments on matters not on the agenda. All right, seeing none. Item 3, moving to the consent agenda, the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting from May 29th. I could get a motion of approval.
So moved.
My second.
Okay, so we have a motion from member McKillop and a second from member Ramirez. So we can go with the roll call vote. Member Macias,
Approved.
member Ramirez,
Aye.
member Magana.
Aye.
Member McKillop,
Aye.
member Hernandez.
Aye.
And member Jimenez,
Aye.
member Garcia,
Aye.
and member Kuda Fuller.
Aye.
Are we doing roll call or can we just do all ayes or?
You would have to do a roll call because
Roll call.
member Jimenez.
That's right. Okay, if we're all here in person, then we can just do that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to item 4, membership. Just wanted to welcome Amy Kuda back.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you back here.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you.
So item 4.2 is looking at recommended meeting times for January 2025 and forward. We don't necessarily have to vote or approve this now, but just something to think about. Open to suggestions, open to discussion. For me, Wednesdays at 1 o'clock still work, but again, up to everyone else.
If we could move it to 2, that would be a little bit easier just for me, because I typically cover staff lunches that sometimes stretch past 1. But it's not critical. That it imposes others from attending.
And I would still be on that last Wednesday of the month, every couple months.
Two o'clock would work a little better for me, but I'm also flexible with either time.
Okay, it's 2 o'clock works for me also.
Works for me. I have no objection.
Then do we need a motion to set the time going forward for January 2025?
Yeah, so we can vote today to move it to 2 p.m. starting on January 29th, 2025. Or if you guys would like to offer other times, we can vote the next meeting, whatever you guys choose to do.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the only concern I'd have is those who aren't present have an issue, but I don't know if there's a need to delay. It still seems like the majority is here, right?
I mean,
Work for you, Aaron?
Yeah,
That's right. Okay. So if I could get a motion,
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second it.
2 o'clock p.m., but the days still stay the same.
Okay, so the motion would be to change the meeting time to 2 p.m. The last Wednesday of the month, every 2 months. So we got a motion from member Hernandez, a second from member Magana, and member Macias,
Approved.
member Ramirez,
Aye.
member Magana,
Aye.
member McKillop,
Aye.
member Hernandez,
Yes.
member Jimenez,
yes.
member Garcia,
Aye.
member Kuda Fuller.
Approve.
Motion passed.
Okay. All right, just so everybody be conscious of the time change. Moving on, item 5, presentation.
If I may suggest, because it does help for everyone to do a calendar invite. Just for those who were not present, it's automatically populated on their calendar, and it does help.
It does. Thank you, Ruben.
Well, we have a couple of things.
Yeah, we're still, what, 5 months away from that, 4 months away?
Yes.
Yeah, we're still a ways away. Moving on, presentations, we'll hear from Senior Legal Services.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Vicky Canepa, and I'm a legal advocate for legal services for seniors. We are a nonprofit law firm that provides legal representation and assistance to seniors over 60 and over 60 in Monterey County. We are the only ones who can provide legal assistance for free in the county to seniors. Our office, we're neighbors, is located on 11 Thomas Owens Way. That's our main office. We see people there, but also we go to different parts of the county, like King City. We go to the Family Resource Center. We're working together with the DA's office, so we're there once a month. We also work at Alliance on Aging in the Taylor Farm Clinic in Gonzales, and we also go to Greenfield. So we're Carmel too. So we're trying to reach to those seniors who cannot come here to our office. We have a staff of 11 members. We have 4 attorneys, 5 legal advocates. We have an intake specialist. That's the person who has the initial contact with the clients. And also we have an attorney who works pro bono for us. And we are mainly funded by governmental and private donation grants and private donations too. We provide legal assistance in different areas, mainly civil law. We don't do any criminal, bankruptcy, or family law. Most of our cases are related to housing issues, preparation of estate documents like wills, advanced healthcare directives, springing power of attorneys. And then we do issues related to elder abuse, both financial and physical. We do a lot of cases regarding to consumer rights, cases, for example, involving home improvement contracts. Then we do, we help with assistance in guardianships and conservatorships, and then benefits also, governmental benefits, appeals. Other than that, we are trying to educate also the seniors to make sure that they know what services are available out there. And also, if we see that there is like something specific going on, like at this moment, we see a lot of cases, solar cases where seniors, fall into different scams, then we try to educate the seniors about that. To access our services, people can call our office. We're gonna do like a small, brief intake where we get main information of the person who's calling to make sure that we could be able to assist them. And then after that case is given to either a legal advocate or to an attorney, and we can either set an appointment for the senior to come to our office, or sometimes we can solve an issue over the phone. And other times, cases take much longer, so we set different appointments with the client, and then we go to court with them, or we proceed depending on the case. Our office is open here from the one in Monterey. We're open from 9 to 3, from Mondays to Thursdays to the public, but our business hours are Mondays to Friday from 9 to 5. And mainly what we're trying to do is to provide with legal assistance to those seniors who cannot have access to it, either because financially it's difficult or maybe for some other accessibility issues. I don't know how much time I have. I can explain more about the documents we prepare. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the main things we do is we prepare estate planning documents for the seniors. That has to do with having a will, the springing power of attorney, and an advanced healthcare directive. We understand that this is really important because in the cases where seniors sometimes don't have family members or somebody that they live with in cases where they cannot make decisions, either financial or medical decisions, then it's important for them to have these documents ready where agents are being assigned and they know who's gonna take care of these issues for them. And then another of very important subject that we see daily, it's housing issues. Because of how expensive it is to live in this area and the lack actually of housing is very limited. We see seniors struggling with this, right? Trying to find a place to live, a place that they can afford. So they often come to us when they receive notices either to move out or notices where their rent is going to increase and they cannot afford it, or they are behind in rent. So we're trying to help them with that and give them advice or representation if needed. And then with the financial elder abuse, we've seen the last couple of years an increase on scams directed at seniors very specifically. And that's something that we're also trying to educate and help. Sometimes by the time they get to us, it's too late, but some other times we are able to partner either maybe with the DA's office or look for some other solutions. So that's basically what our agency does. So I don't know if you have any questions.
Thank you. I know, on behalf of the Blind Center, we've actually referred a good amount of clients to you guys just because there's only so much we can help on our end that we've been, referring to you guys. So we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
All right, next, reports and information items. David.
That's the last slide. Can we go back a couple? Let's want me to start with that. Here.
And you have that ordered as your first slide. Where would you like me to start?
We can start with that one if that's the way you have it. That's fine. Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and start with our trips by purpose. This first slide here is the trips by that MV handles. As you can see, we have our top 3 to 4 reasons for trips, our dialysis, education and training, and personal recreational trips, going to grocery stores, dinners, restaurants, entertainment of that kind, and then also medical trips. Those are our top 4 reasons that our clients are asking for trips to be taken. And if you go to the next slide. And this one here is, same type of scenario, but this is our yellow cab, our overflow that trips that we send to yellow cab that we can't handle. Basically the same purpose for their trips that they have, dialysis patients, recreational services and employment. All right, if you can go next slide. Okay. Okay, these are our rides trips. This is a number of trips that we've been completing for the past year. As you can see off this graph, that there has been a nice steady increase over the past year, except for December where there's, we were down a little bit. That's, winter months. People are staying in holiday time and things like that. So people are staying in, but for the most part, the percentage of trips have been increasing steadily over the past year, which is a good thing. People are getting out and about again, and getting back to work and enjoying their community. Passengers as well, that has been steadily increasing. It's with the increase of that, we have you know, our normal passengers that we have, and then they have their PCAs coming along with them, or family members of coming along with them as well. But there has been a nice steady increase, you know, right around 9,000 to 10,000 passengers per month. All right, go to the next slide. Okay, this is our passenger per hour, passenger per revenue hour. You know, our goal is to hit 1.87 passengers per hour. We're not quite hitting that. We're just below it. We're about 1.6, 1.7 is what we average a month. You know, it's tough to hit that 1.87, but you know, we're trying to be cognizant of our passenger on board time. You know, so we don't want our passengers on board for longer than, try to go no longer than 30 minutes. You know, when we get up to an hour plus, then it can generate some discomfort amongst our passengers. You know, a lot of them that are elderly are coming from, you know, their La Casa centers and things like that. They have to, you know, go home, take medication, use the restroom and things like that. So we try to be cognizant of that and try to not load the buses up completely where they're on board for you know, over an hour. So yeah, so we try to, you know, be aware of their needs as well. Which then you look down at on-time performance, these two kind of go hand in hand. You know, on-time performance goal is 90%. We're not hitting that yet either. But we're, you know, right around 85% on an average if you look at it. This month right now, I just looked at it before I came here, we're at 84.7. So in not counting today, we'll probably end up right around 85% for the month. So we're just below it. But you know, we're now fully staffed with drivers. So that's going to help out that need as well. And it will, like I said, coincide or balance with the passengers per hour as well as we get more drivers on road. But if you look at past years, like last year in July, you know, we were dipping real low. And that's when we went on a huge hiring blitz and started recruiting drivers. And now that we're fully staffed right at the beginning of the year, we started getting all our drivers trained and on road, and we're seeing a great improvement there. So I'm happy to see that. All right, let me go to our next slide. Okay, this is our call hold times with our dispatchers. This is an area that I'm really trying to work on with my team, and that's to, you know, avoid the long hold times for our customers. You know, I know when you're on hold, you know, a minute could seem like 5 minutes to somebody. Yeah, we have music, we have the recording and all that, but you start hearing the same loop over and over and over. You feel like you're on the hold for a long time. So what I'm working with my team is to wrap up their calls while they still have the customer online. You know, confirm their reservation and make sure that everything's correct. And that way, when they hang up that call, they can jump onto the next call. So there's not that long hold time for the next customer. And you know, we are fully staffed in our dispatch office too, so there shouldn't. I would like to see some great improvements in this area that I'm working with my team on. All right, and next slide. All right, this is our passengers, our complaints, you know, per passenger. We've been doing very well up until this past month. You know, where the complaints have been, you know, not as great. You know, last year, yeah, the complaints were a lot more frequent. That was because we weren't as staffed, and so there was an on-time performance issue going on, and you know, customers calling up, "Hey, where's my ride? I'm late." But now, as you know, at the beginning of the year, we've seen some nice improvements there with the increase in staff. The month of June, that's a bit of an anomaly there. You know, I was trying to look back and see what some of the complaints have been this past month, and it was various reasons. You know, we had kind of that heat wave that kicked through, so we had some AC issues with some of the buses. You know, our buses don't always have our AC going, so that when we have a heat wave, you get out there, you kick on the AC, and it's not coming through as powerful as you want it to be. you're gonna have someone that's calling up, hey, you gotta check this AC out, it's not working. So it's just various things like that, maybe the late arrival. Or, it just, like I said, there was nothing that was one specific reason for the increase in complaints. It was just various reasons, but these complaints here, as I do take serious as well, because we want to make sure that we listen to what our passengers are saying and, take it serious. If they have a complaint, then we want to address it immediately, talk with the driver, and if we have to, pull some video from their drive cam and handle the situation, coach the driver if need be, and then respond obviously to the customer in a timely manner, to let them know that their voices are being heard as well. So, and I believe that's the last slide. If you want to, am I correct? Yeah, that is
Correct. That was the last slide.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Questions?
What was the reason for December?
For the what's
For this specific slide?
for this? This is great because we had more rides than complaints.
Oh, okay.
So that, when it's higher, that the dotted line is the standard, but that we completed more rides than we had complaints in that month. So
Got it.
yeah, if I'm above that line, I'm happy.
It's a good month.
Yeah, it was a good month. Yeah, yes, for sure. That in March was very good.
Thanks for asking that question,
Mhm.
because I thought it was just the
You know-
opposite, like the
Yeah.
purple stats we
Yeah.
have.
Yes,
And the
exactly.
green is actually your average of complaints over your rides per
Correct.
volume.
Yes. I know this slide was confusing to me at first when I first started looking at it and trying to understand it, but yes, it was a good question, yeah, because it does help to understand what you're looking at.
I have a question, David,
Yeah.
on the call volume. Do you have your team, like, do you guys create reoccurring? Obviously, there's set things like dialysis, people are going to work, that's kind of routine.
Mhm.
So do you have a team that kind of calls and confirms those separate from them constantly calling in to schedule every ride, or how do you
Well,
work that?
they have usually a subscription,
Mhm.
and so their trips are already set up. Like
Okay.
if they go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday through Friday, they're already scheduled to go.
Okay,
And so every day when we plan out the schedule, they're already booked. They don't even have to call.
got
And
it,
then they have, the IVR system, which gives them that reminder the night before
got it.
to remind them of, hey, you have a trip tomorrow, and then the day of as
So
well.
it's really just your call volume is when they have a one-off appointment or they need to adjust a time.
Yes,
due to a
exactly.
change.
Yep,
Got it.
exactly.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'm just curious, if you go back to the one on Rick, the reasons for using MST services, where it says 1,000 something, and it was either dialysis, it was medical, but then the last one I don't have.
Yeah, personal recreation.
Recreational.
Yeah.
Education and training.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just curious as to what is MST doing, because recreation is one of the highest as well, aside from I need to go to the doctor.
Hmm.
I'm just curious how, if any, is MST collaborating with community events, either to promote or even to create new things that haven't been created, to increase that recreational by eliminating isolation from our aging community.
Well, we we don't personally go out and solicit it, but we wait. If we get a call or if we get a request, like we have one tomorrow for the Blind Center.
Mhm.
Hey, we have a special trip. We have a number of participants that want to go to the museum in Pacific Grove. What can you do? Can you set us up, to pick up these 8 to 10 people at this time to get them out there and pick them up? So they'll give us a call and we'll schedule, make sure it happens. And like tomorrow, that's already booked and ready to go. 4th of July was another event. The center out there in Carmel Valley at Rippling River, a lot of their participants wanted to go to the parade in Monterey. And so they arranged it with us for us to pick them up and take them out there to enjoy the parade. And we had a number of buses go out there because they have some mobility devices that they use as well. So we had, I think it was like 3 to 4 buses that went out there to pick that group up to get out and do that. Yeah.
I'm just curious if that could be an untapped possibility and potential of creating a way of MST having community partners to increase ridership,
Yeah.
but also visibility within the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah, well, I know in years past, we haven't done it, we haven't done it this year. I know in years past, we used the fairgrounds had the veterans, senior veterans event going on. We helped coordinate that. We went up to Santa Cruz and picked up those vets, and then throughout the area, you know, the vet centers and the VA clinic and Marina, and took them to the fairgrounds and then drop them back off again. So yeah, we try to get out there as much as we possibly can, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just thinking outside the
Yeah.
box.
No, I
Instead of
think
them
it's great.
Coming to you, you coming to them and saying,
Yeah.
what do you have for this calendar year and how can we collaborate with you guys?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
If I may also add to that, Maria. So this one's more specific to the MST rides
Mhm,
program. So those that are certified and eligible to use the service are using these services for the programs and educational purposes. But for overall MST, we do have specific, we have our marketing department where they also have our coordinator, public coordinator who goes out and collaborate with the community for special events. And so, yes, we are definitely out there and promoting our services.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you are.
Nothing
Anything
further.
else?
Thank you, David.
Okay, thanks.
Reminds me, Chris, you need to have you come speak at our support groups. Have someone speak. All right, next, MST mobility updates.
Good afternoon, everyone. MSD staff, members of the public, Christy Sagabo, Mobility Services Manager. So since we officially ended our fiscal year, I'll go ahead and just provide a little bit of fiscal year program information. To start off with our Navigator volunteer program, we ended the year with 4 volunteers and with total volunteers hours of 559. So our volunteer programs are assigned at senior centers throughout the Monterey County, and they regularly provide outreach activities for us. And then in the MST Rides program, we had a total of 682 enrollments, and 549 were new applicants, 133 were recertification. We do have a total of about 2,700 active participants in the program. And then in our travel training program, we ended the year with 553 travel training activities, and this includes individual travel training and then group training, so individuals within the group that participated. And then our transportation reimbursement incentive program, we had a total of 9,939 reimbursed trips. We enrolled about 51 participants, but right now we do have a total of 133. And then in our taxi voucher program, these are the voucher trips for seniors with disabilities, veterans, and we ended the year with 54,802 trips. And then we did starting this month, we expanded the taxi voucher program. King City is now part of the program. They are considered what's called an enrollment site. So their residents who are 65 years old and older can enroll in the program, but processing of the vouchers, that's done by our mobility team. Before I move on, do you guys have any questions regarding program information? No. So I believe it was 2 meetings ago, I mentioned that we had a new team member. His name is Rolando Munoz. He's actually here today. If you could just say hi to the committee. He took over the role on overseeing our taxi voucher program. So he's the gentleman that you want to reach out to if you have any questions about it. And then last, at our last MAC meeting, our planning manager, Emma Patel, had proposed changes to the senior shuttle line 91. She's actually here today to provide an update on that as well. So if you don't have any questions for me, I'll go ahead and ask Emma to come up and provide an update.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Emma Patel, Planning Manager. At the main meeting, I discussed the proposed changes to line 91, where line 91 would be routed down Junipero and Sarah, entering Carmel instead of Ocean and Carpenter. At the time, I noted that meant it would no longer serve the Carmel Foundation. After hearing your board's comments, we were able to go back and tweak the routing a little bit, so we will be able to serve the Carmel Foundation. So beginning August 31st, line 91 will be routed down Junipero and Sarah, and it will continue to serve Carmel Foundation. Any questions?
Great news.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, on to item 7, announcements and appreciations. I do have an announcement. I had just learned this afternoon that former Mobility Advisory Committee member Diana Trapani had passed away. So we could just do a moment of silence for her. Thank you, everyone. All right, any other announcements or appreciations?
I would like to appreciate the presence MSD has been doing with the Socos Nocos event. A lot of our senior community members have received not only a lot of resource information, but through the presence, they've also had the mobility volunteers participate, and so you could see the presence, well-informed, well-trained. And so I just wanted to give kudos to the team.
Thank you.
I'll just share with the team. I was in a flurry, so you don't physically get cards today, but you will be getting invitations to our 100,000th ride celebration. ITN Monterey County actually delivered that ride yesterday afternoon in downtown Salinas. So we'll be having a fun-filled celebration on October 24th at Laguna Seca. So mark your calendars, you'll get flyers.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You get the hospitality pavilion or? Okay.
Laps on the track and go-karts and all kinds of fun stuff. It's gonna be
Most definitely want to be there.
Afternoon, evening.
mixer time. Yeah, so it'll be
Mixer.
ribbon cutting, so 5 to 7.
I'm just so
5
bad.
to 8, whatever you say.
There, I'll bring this baby.
Martin. Yeah. Yes.
She loves her food.
I just have, I have to share this information because this happened recently, last Friday. We had one of our members who walked into my office, and for the longest time, he was trying to make it to my office. But his number one challenge was that the bus doesn't go as often to the Carmel Valley, right? He lives in the valley. So he says, I have to really work on the bus schedule because they're very limited. So I don't have a lot of access to resources and I feel isolated. And this is kind of like the first time I've heard that his main challenge was the transportation. But he said, if it wasn't for MST, I wouldn't be here because I feel so alone living in the Carmel Valley that I probably wouldn't be here. So fast forward, where he made this comment, fast forward to last Friday, he made it again to my office. And he says, I just need resources. There's not many resources for me out there. So we started talking about what kind of resources do you need? And then he again brought up the issue about transportation being very limited. we're trying to pair them up with the peer counseling program with the Alliance on Aging. So they do have a challenge because they cannot meet him all the way to Carmel Valley, so he has to meet him somewhere in Carmel. So Carmel Foundation is trying to pair it up with Alliance on Aging so they can have a place so they can meet seniors from the area. So they don't have to go all the way to Carmel Valley. So that's gonna happen. It's gonna be in the future. But as we're talking about more and more, so he kept saying no to this, no to that, because the bus schedule and the bus transportation, you know, being very limited. So he comes to says, I'm just so tired of all this. And in the end, he disclosed being suicidal.
Mm,
And in the end, and I'm not laughing, I'm just, you know,
yeah.
recapping all these things. I was so nervous when he says, oh yeah, I'm suicidal. And not only that, but I've been thinking about this for the last 6 months
Mm,
because it's so isolated in where I live that there's no way I'm just so tired of it all. So in doing his assessment, quote unquote, I said, do you have a plan to kill yourself? Yeah, I have a plan to kill myself. Okay, what is this plan? He says, well, I'm diabetic and I'm gonna use my medication to kill myself. And if it doesn't work, I'm gonna use my rifle. I have a rifle at home. And obviously with that, you know, we're trying to assess for suicidal ideation. We were able to get him the assistance that he needed. Obviously, he wasn't too happy about it. He was questioned and assessed by the Carmel Police Department, and he plain out said, I didn't see this one coming. You know, I'm thinking I just need the resources. I don't have a lot of means to get to the resources, and I don't want to go to the hospital. So the police officer says you have two options. Either we take you there involuntarily, or we're gonna call the ambulance and you yourself are gonna walk over to the ambulance, get in the ambulance and go get the assistance that you need. So he chose the latter ones. He chose to go in the ambulance by himself. He just came out yesterday and we going back to the same thing, like what are we doing for our community, especially for those people who are isolated and perhaps they don't want to share that the number one issue for them is getting transportation to and from. Even though he does use the current transportation route that is in Carmel Valley, but I believe from what he's saying is still limited. And I don't know how many people may be in the same circumstances because the limited transportation. So I like the idea that you were saying, Maria, that perhaps agencies should collaborate to pair up programs with individuals who are living isolated from the rest of the world. So we're hoping that he is medicated and he rethinks what he wanted to do because of his isolation problem, so.
mm.
And this, again, I'm thinking, I'm not gonna say anything, but if we don't say anything, then this is the perfect venue for us to be communicating as to what are we doing out there for our community? How are we helping them? So to me, what I heard from him is a very loud scream for help.
Mm.
There's nothing for me out there. And if I have to come to you for a service, I'm not gonna be able to because the transportation is very limited. So on my way here, someone texted me, hey, so-and-so is at the Carmel Foundation. So I'm glad that he did not harm himself and that he's back into society. So, but we're hoping that perhaps providing him with resources and maybe other avenues to get him the help that he needs. Someday we'll have ongoing transportation coming and going to all those seniors who are way isolated and most of the services are in the other side of the hill.
Mm.
So just that.
I just want to say, I think that's the perfect, sharing of why the ADRC is so critical and so important. So I really hope that you get connected, if not with Maria, with, someone at the ADRC, because that's the exact intention of that no wrong door. They should not have to leave their home. A phone call, a resource person should be available. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the key word is access.
That's right. So we'll see, to be continued, I'll let you know. The last thing we want to hear is that he was able to carry out his plan. And I actually had to follow up with the Carmel PD and find out, did you guys go and retrieve the gun? They said, well, we talked to someone from the sheriff's department and somewhere down the line, the communication fell through the cracks. So I'm hoping that sheriff's department was able to follow through and go and retrieve this gun from this gentleman who still has access to both of his factors for carrying out his plan, his medication and his weapon.
We're looking at
Do-
after.
I was gonna acknowledge Diana Jimenez on Zoom.
Ah.
Thank you for allowing me to unmute myself. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Also trying to stop the video. Well, for now, I'll just go ahead. And thank you so much for sharing what you just did about this particular gentleman. And the sad thing is that, especially in rural areas, South County, North County, even in Carmel Valley and areas like that, when you have elderly individuals who don't have family members to assist them, it's so difficult for them. And I think sometimes there is a misconception about, Carmel Valley, that everyone has money and resources, and that's not the case. We have, even in those affluent areas, individuals with very limited resources. And so that's why, so I've never met you, but I'm the Deputy Director over Aging and Adult Services, in addition to CalWorks Employment Services. So, what you're saying really does resonate with what our APS social workers have to respond to or need to respond to. And what we know is that it's not just one individual agency that can address this. It's a combination of different service providers that collectively make a difference for individuals like this. And so collectively, we can make a difference. The sad thing is many times, our elderly seniors, especially in rural areas, they are so isolated. They don't know who to turn to. Transportation is a huge issue. And I know at least through the AAA and some of the grants that we receive, we try to invest and partner with other agencies to help address some of this, but it's never enough. We need a lot more money from the state and federal governments and grants to really address the huge need. And it's going to continue. It's going to get worse, I think, before it gets better, because as we know, the aging population is growing faster than babies are being born. And so it's estimated that by 2030, 1 in 4 individuals will be age 60 and over. And the ones with the most needs are the ones with limited resources. And so meeting that demand is a challenge for all of us. And, I think, again, collectively, we can't solve it all, but we can try to make a difference. And Jessica's right. We do have programs like the ADRC service delivery model, the No Wrong Door, and that connects through CSOL and through our IRA team that can connect individuals with resources. But if you don't know about it, you wouldn't know, right, where to call and where to reach out. But again, thank you for bringing that to our attention. If we can help in any way, please feel free to reach out to me, and I can help also connect you with other resources that we have.
Thank you. We definitely will connect.
Also, if you're able to share his name, information or phone number, you can send it either to Ruben or myself, and we can identify if he is already registered in the MST Rights Program. If not, we'll reach out to him to see if he would want to apply and qualify for it as well.
I
And,
definitely
yeah.
will, because he, like I said, on my way here, I got the text that he came back. So he uses the Carmel Foundation as his second home, as his only place to socialize with other people. So we want to make sure that he's connected with each and every one of the agencies that can possibly get him to stay connected and socialize and feel like he has a purpose to stay.
Definitely.
Well, good. Thank you. Anyone has any item request for next agenda, please let Ruben know.
I had one last announcement if I could.
Yes.
August 29th, the Senior Day Resource Fair and Veterans Connect at the fairgrounds. It's noon to 3. It's open to seniors. Their gate is covered that day. Aspire is the one covering the gate for seniors that day. We have already about 40 booths registered. I think everyone at this table is registered, except for I'm not sure if you guys are. Usually you come, so I'll make sure you are. You might be.
Karen.
I just,
Yeah.
everybody else I know at the table is. So, yeah, that's right. Karen Levin, she's definitely, yes, you are. So everybody here is out there, but please, any effort to get people out there, it's really a really great resource for them. Sorry, thank you for that.
Say we should be registered. I ordered a new banner for us and everything.
As soon as you said Karen, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's- All right, everyone, next meeting is scheduled for September 25th. Agenda deadline is September 15th. We will adjourn at 1:50 p.m.